I want to talk about something that every investor should know. What are your rights to a property? The biggest mistake many investors make are going to be answered right here on what you have a right to when you buy a property or you get a property. And that's what I want to try to give you today is the answer to those rights and what you can do about them. Here we go. There are what's called a bundle of rights. By the way, if you like the video now or any of our videos that we do about real estate, I'd appreciate if you just subscribe down below or join us here on Facebook at the Deal Funders and learn more and more about real estate. I want to try to give out all I can on more about real estate for you guys. All right, these bundles of rights, it's pretty simple to understand these. Let me give you them. There's 5 of them, and I'm in the car today. I've pulled over. I got a few minutes, so I thought I would just make a quick video, and I hope it's to your liking and what you need. The bundle of rights. Every house has rights to it. Every property, every commercial building has rights to it, and you really should know those rights or what's happened with those rights before you buy it. You know that people can buy a rental home and they're stuck in the same rental agreement with people who are not paying or not doing right. And they thought, oh, I'm getting this home. It's already got renters, but the renters aren't paying. You weren't told they weren't paying and you can't get them. You assumed the rights of that home and those people stay until you kick them out legally. Listen, you want to know your rights. You want to know what you have to do. These bundle of rights are pretty simple and they're kind of fun, so let's go through them. The first one is a right of possession. You have a right to own or be on title and possess this piece of real estate. Now, there's many times that I have been on title and didn't owe any money, although someone else did on a piece of real estate. You can be on title or be in control of the house as far as the possession goes. The right of possession is that you have the right to own this piece of property. In America, we have what's called inalienable rights. Everybody has the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And owning real estate are one of those things that I think kind of makes you happy. You can do a lot of things when you own the property rather than if you're renting. Number 2 is control. Listen, just control. You get to control the property. You get to control what happens to it. You get to control what goes on. Listen, I learned a lot about control of a property when I was 16 years old. I told my dad, I was 16, I got my license. The day I turned 16, I went up and got my driver's license test. And I passed, and I got my license. This is a long time ago. And I was all excited. I went and told my dad, I'm going to go out tonight. We're going to do this. And my dad looks and goes, no, you're not. You're going to be home at 10 o'clock. I'm like, I just got my license. Can't I be out and hang out? My dad said, no, curfew's 10 o'clock. I'm thinking, hey, that's not right. I don't want to have to come in at 10 o'clock. And my dad said, my house, my rules. I learned right then at 16 years old of the right of control when you have these rights or the bundle of rights. Number 3, enjoyment. You have a right to enjoy a house, to have a great time with that. You can enjoy it. Now, there's some things when you have bought those rights by renting, you can't enjoy. I like my rooms all painted the same colors. When I touch them up, I can go through the whole house, touch it up real quick, and all come out the same color. I like that. I like that's the way it looks. And so I do that. Some people want, I went in someone's bathroom. Okay, I'm going to be honest. It was my daughter's bathroom. Maybe 5 days ago down in Texas. I was visiting my daughter. She got married. I went for the wedding. I sat down in her bathroom, and I realized that HGTV has thrown up in my daughter's bathroom. Not kidding you. Listen, you have a right to paint that bathroom if you own the house any color you want, but because you can enjoy it. But if you don't have the control, because you just rented it, you don't have possession, you're not the owner, then you can't have the right of enjoyment of having that bathroom multiple colors, all crazy colors like my daughter, because you don't have the ability of enjoyment because you didn't buy that or rent that in your bundle of rights. Now, if you go to the landlord and say, can I paint the bathroom purple and blue and green? And he says yes, which I don't know why any landlord would, but it happens. Then now you have enjoyed or got and received that right to do so. But that right of enjoyment is fun because like on my property, I have a right to let my family come over and ride 4-wheelers. We go out and go hunting. There's all kinds of things that you can do with those rights. Then number 4 is the right of disposition. You got a right to sell that property. You can do what you want to with that property when you go to sell it. Now, if you have a lien, most people have a lien on their property. You say the word lien and people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want a lien on my property. Almost every person, not all, but almost every person has a lien on your property. It's called a mortgage. That's the first lien. And you can sell your house if you want to, but the first money out of your house goes back to pay that mortgage because they have a lien on your property. What they did was, when you borrowed all that money, they decided that they would control your property when you sell to make sure they get their money first. Now they have rights and the ability of those rights. They can't tell you to make the house purple or yellow or red. They can't tell you to have cars in the garage or have a living room in the garage. They have no rights to that. They just have a right to that property. If you don't pay, they get it. They get the property. If you do pay, they only have a right that when you sell, that's at the right of disposition, one of the bundles of rights. Then of course they get paid, and they control that. Another one that was really funny is in this right of disposition is that there are people in Hawaii, say, that they have land and they have allowed people to build buildings on their land for 99 years. It's called leasehold. And at the end of 99 years, let's say someone else did all this building, you buy this old place, and you're like, I bought this condo, but it has rights that go back, they're leasehold. And there's only 7 years left. Then in 7 years, you don't own anything because they can take that land back and you don't own the condo. You don't own anything you purchase. So you want to be real careful and know about those rights when you're dealing with several states have leasehold property where they've leased out the property for a certain amount of time. And now they want that back. The last one is you have a right of exclusion. Now, I think the right of enjoyment is the most for me. I have a neighbor, his name is Scott. I allow Scott and his family to hunt or drive or play on our land with four-wheelers. They allow me to drive or hunt or play on their land with four-wheelers. We have an agreement between the two. He's the greatest neighbor I've ever had. And I really enjoy our time when me and him hang out, but we share those rights with each other. I can do that in the right of enjoyment. But now we come down to the right of exclusion. I can also say my other neighbor, which I don't have a neighbor on the other side. I mean, I have a guy that owns the land, but I've never met him. He never comes there. It's empty land. I can say to him, hey, you can't come on my land. I can exclude him. Years ago, I used to watch this movie and it had He-Man Women Haters Club on it. And I don't remember the movie, but it's about a Little Rascals. It's about a bunch of little kids. And they had the He-Man's Women Haters Club. And it was on the outside of their club. Women can't come in. We don't like women. And they put all that up there. And I just thought that's hilarious. And then, of course, they fall in love. And then they allow the girls to come at the end of the movie, which is the way it should be. And but it was cool that they had a right of exclusion. You have a right to tell people you can't come on my property. I don't want you to come there. I don't want you to be a part of it. And you have a right to do so. So those are the bundle of rights. And if anybody else asks you about them, that's it. The right of possession, the right of control, the right of enjoyment, the right of disposition, the right of exclusion. Now, there's some other cool rights that go with that. And let me just give you those. There's some other really cool ones that come in. In the rights is you have below ground rights. Those are called mineral rights. You have above, they're called air rights. I know Howard Hughes in Hawaii. I know he's a little crazy maybe and living up there and his nails growing long, but the dude had some things right. He went to Hawaii and bought land. There's little buildings downtown Waikiki that no one can build on because he owns 25 feet and above. He went to the people and said, hey, years and years ago when there was no Waikiki hardly, and he said, because he knew Waikiki was coming, I would like to buy the rights of 25 feet and above your land. And the people are like, why would you do that? And he bought it so that years later, when they wanted to put in a condo, they would have to pay the Howard Hughes Corporation money to build that condo. Even though he didn't own the land or the house that was on the land, he owned the air rights. Then there's people, when you buy a piece of property, you may not buy the mineral rights. I own a piece of property I don't have the mineral rights to. Years and years ago, before they divided it up, some guy bought the mineral rights and he owns the mineral rights and he never sells them. Maybe you could buy them from him. I don't know. I'm not going to dig or build anything on my land down below the ground, so he's got a right to that. He can have that. But those are the rights that you have. Then you buy rights as a renter. When you pay every month your rent, you buy the rights to property. So there's so many different ways to get rights. I've been to somebody before and I said, look, I'd like to buy the right for there not to be a gas station on this corner, and I'd give you $3,000 towards your property. I would have somebody record it that no one can build a gas station on your corner. And the people look like, why is that? That's just crazy. But $3,000, $3,000. Now they take it. Then a gas station comes along and said, hey, I want to buy your property. They say, okay, well, you can buy my property. And they go to do a title search and they say, well, this guy, Gary DuBose, has the right that no gas station can go there. Now my $3,000 is very valuable. And I say, look, I'll let you build a gas station there. Give me $40,000, and you can build a gas station there. Why? I now control, even though I don't own the land, I own rights to or portions of that land in the control of not having a gas station. You can do all kinds of crazy things with rights, and there's a lot of money to be made in real estate by holding and controlling those rights. Maybe you ought to do a little research. If you got questions, ask me. Hey, subscribe down below with us or be a part of us here on Facebook on the Deal Funders. And why don't we get together and you ask questions? I'll try to answer them the best I can. You can ask in the comments below. Maybe you've heard some crazy thing happening with rights. Then go ahead and post those down below so other people can see them, and maybe we can talk about them a little bit. I'd love to hear what you have to say. This is Gary, and more about real estate's always coming to you. This is the Deal Funders. Have a great day.